Hey guys, Blue Kool-Aid here. I'm gonna do a video for you real quick. Um, we're gonna start with this nor'easter that just hit. For really, the main reason here is just to kind of put together a couple of events that happened. Obviously, they're talking about the power getting shut off to hundreds of thousands of people in the Northeast, guys. Um, yeah, this was a big storm. Okay. Uh, yeah. And look at that. Isn't that crazy? That is one nutty picture. I know I wouldn't be doing that. I don't suggest anybody else to do that because you guys can tell that that car was not parked parallel to the curb. So these guys intentionally drove this car underneath that. Uh, yeah, maybe when I was 15, 16, 17, I might have did something stupid like that. But I mean, yeah, you're just taking your life into your own hands when when you test stuff like that. Doesn't take much, guys. Doesn't take much at all when you're talking about electricity. So, um, but yeah, man, it's crazy. It talks about the extreme of this storm here. I would just suggest everybody go over and check this out. I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of people without power. And again, what's that sound like? Sounds just like what was going on in California as far as the numbers. Now, this was a different situation. They shut them off for two different reasons. They didn't shut the ones off in the Northeast. They actually went out and had to fix it to get them back going. But that makes you wonder when you see these two mass outage events within a week of each other, what's actually happening? I mean, are they doing this, for whatever reason to try to condition us, or are they doing it for whatever else, or is there nothing to it at all? Um, I'm not sitting here saying that this is related, but when it does cause you to be very skeptical when you see this stuff happening like this in this time frame. So not to mention that it happened in two highly populated areas on opposite coasts. Were they just trying to see what would happen on the West Coast and seeing what would happen on the East Coast and how people reacted? Um, who knows? Uh, and again, the one up in the Northeast was caused by a storm. They didn't shut these off. These lines were damaged and stuff. But then you could talk about weather modification and all those other situations. Come into your mind. But um, it says right here, it says trees knocked down more than 180,000 main households and businesses. Wow. Man, this is crazy. And it dumped a whole bunch of rain. Okay. It's talking about how many were without power here. It actually caused a Southwestern airline plane to crash into a jet bridge. Um, yeah, I think it was it was just taxiing out or something like that. But yeah, it says a collision between a Southwestern airline plane and a jet bridge. Um, said the plane was empty and sitting at the boarding gate at the time of the incident. So yeah, and you can see some of the pics there. I mean, that's pretty intense, guys. Um, but yeah, I just thought you guys would want to see that because that's, again, power outages. And that's what we got to really look at. And I'm going to take you over and show you guys this map. Okay, guys, this is the geoelectric field map. This is a new tool that's available to us now. I talked about this before, and I've been putting it in my model updates. But the reason I want to talk about this, I don't think I explained it very well the first time. What you're looking at here, guys, is how uh, our electrical conditions are being affected by space weather. Um, that's what this is showing you. Okay, it's actually trying to show you the intensity of what could actually be happening and the effects it's having on our grid. That's what this is trying to show you. Um, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play this time lapse and let you guys check it out. Now you see the dark blue. The dark blue is normal, and a little bit of flashing here and here is pretty normal. And again, this is a newer tool, so we're still just at very early stages of seeing what this thing is going to look like on a normal basis. Okay, I can tell you that this probably does not look very bad, um, but you can tell. Okay, you can tell it's a little our the stuff that we're getting from space, is affecting our magnetopause and our magnetosphere here. This is basically what it's showing you. We're getting hit with solar winds and stuff like that, and that's what this is kind of showing you. But it's trying to show you what the chances are to affect our electrical grid. Okay, that's what this map is for. So just look at that, and when you see the darker blues, that's pretty normal. Okay, little flashing here and there, and this one does get kind of bright for a minute. Okay, yeah, so that definitely confirms that we've been getting hit with solar winds, like we've been talking about from these coronal holes. So yeah, here's the key here. Here's the intensity gauge. So if you ever see reds and purples and stuff on here, yeah, I've not seen that yet because this is like I said, a very new tool. So, but I wanted to explain that a little bit better because I do put this in my model update, and I want you guys to kind of understand it in that way. The purple dots, I guess, are, I don't know if they're location points or whatever those are. I really don't know what those are. Maybe there's stations they have set up where these tools are setting to detect this kind of stuff. I don't know. I need to dig more into that and see how this tool is actually being put together. So, but anyway, guys, I'm gonna pause again. Okay, guys. Yeah, we've been talking about earthquakes an awful lot past week or so. And guess what? This is coming from mainstream. All right, this isn't even something that's being talked about on the back channels of what we do. Right? You can read it right there. It's unprecedented movement detected on California earthquake fault capable of an 8.0 trembler. Trembler, what I think it's supposed to say trembler, but that's a typo there. So anyway, yeah, man. So they show you this right here, okay, and this is a fault that they have never seen move. Okay, this is breaking all kinds of weight out of the norm. All right, it's a major California fault, and it's very capable of producing an 8+ earthquake, and it would be right around the LA area, which would affect a lot of people. Okay, it says in the modern historic record, the 160-mile long, they call it the Garlock Fault. Okay, and I've never heard of that before. We've all heard of the San Andreas Fault and all that stuff. I think it's kind of connected to it at the southern end, if I'm correct there. Oh, it says on the northern edge. Oh, okay, of the Mojave Desert. That's where this is located. Has never been observed to produce either a strong earthquake or even to creep. Okay, and you guys can translate that word creep to probably like a slow slipping, just a little slow movement. So I think that's how they're using that in that context. But they're seeing this from space. Okay, this is what kind of drew me to this. Not to mention, the 8.0 part of it. I do think it's kind of funny that they're bringing this out right now when we're overdue for, like my video said yesterday, for a 7+ earthquake. Do they know more than what we know right now? Probably. Is something going to happen over there? I don't know. I don't think any of us could really say, yeah, it's going to happen right there. We can just say, hey, the chances of stuff happening is greater. That's pretty much what we try to say. But yeah, it says it ties it right back to the Ridgecrest quakes that happened a couple weeks ago. The ones that were the strongest they felt in that area of the country in like 2 or 3 decades. So let's see here. What else does this thing say? But yeah, they've seen this thing from space. Okay. It says the USGS said that the July quakes have raised the chances. Okay, that's something else I'm going to talk about. Even myself, for a very long time, thought that, you know, it's good to have smaller quakes, and I've even said that very recently. Um, Maybe I was wrong. I'm not sure. I do know that the pressure needs released, but maybe that's done through small volcanic eruptions and stuff like that. Maybe that's the kind of stuff that they're trying to say needs to happen to keep big stuff from going on. But they're saying right here that when you get these smaller swarms, that the likelihood is greater to have a big one in that area. Most people think that if it releases some of that energy, and I thought the same thing. Okay. Um, Again, that's what I'm telling you. I'm trying to learn more about this earthquake stuff, and this is teaching me something here. So, um, the smaller earthquakes will lead us to these bigger ones. Is kind of what it's saying. So I guess that's why it's such a big deal when we see those small magnitude swarms. So it starts pointing that direction. So yeah, and again, yeah, it says tens of thousands. Well, I ain't gonna read that, but there's the fault line. You guys want to check that out? Okay. It looks like it is it trying to say it's moving in two different directions. Yeah, it's where the two plates meet, or the fault themselves. And that's what it's showing you, how they move. Basically, they move opposite of each other. They kind of rub up against each other. So, but yeah, it's very crazy when they start coming out with this when we're talking about being overdue for quakes. So okay, guys. I went over to check these earthquakes to see what was happening as of right now. This one just happened a few hours ago, and it's a 4.7. There was no tsunami or nothing with this, but the reason I'm talking about it is because it's off the coast of Oregon. All right. Now, we just got through talking about a fault down in Southern California. And if you look at these fault lines on this map, they're all kind of tied together. Okay. I think that, let's see here. Yeah, that red one right there would be close to that new fault line that we were just talking about. But what we're looking at up here, guys, is the Cascadian subduction zone. Okay. Whenever we say that word, people should stop and really pay attention. Because when that thing goes, we're talking, yeah, bad stuff. The whole West Coast will be reformed. Just letting you guys know that. However many miles in, however bad it is, they're talking huge tidal wave. This is a fault line that's actually out in the ocean. Okay, and I've talked about this before. Uh, and once it's been slipping slowly. Okay, it's overdue to have, again, that word overdue. Yeah, they expected that thing to do something before now, I think. Um, but yeah, we just got to really pay attention to this because this is a big one here. Okay, and chances are, if you guys see these red fault lines, just take this in consideration. What if something happened down here on the southern end? Okay, and that pressure that got released when I did have a decent size. Say this right there, we're just talking about had an 8.0 right there. Wouldn't it make sense that it would follow up this fault line and could trigger that at the same time? That would be horrible. Okay, or even the other way, maybe the Cascadian subduction zone um, slips, does its thing, and causes this one down here to do something. The San Andreas and all those other faults there. So I don't know, man. I really don't. I'm sure it's possible because it's all connected. We see it transfer up fault lines all the time. Okay, when we do have uh, seismic activity, it does. If you have something right on a fault line, the next few afterwards seem to trend right on that same fault line, just in one direction or the other. So that makes sense. But yeah, okay, guys, we're going to talk about this coronal holes again. Okay, and guys, I try to switch it up some. Okay, just to kind of keep things fresh. I know what we do here is, more on the, I don't know, like, I guess the more serious side of things. because what we talk about is pretty intense sometimes. So I do try to change it up so you guys can have something else to think about and stuff like that. But when we're seeing these things that are really a big deal, I can't not talk about it. Okay. Um, so this right here, in my opinion, is very substantial. Okay, you guys can remember what the sun captures I showed you yesterday from SDO, how big the coronal holes were then in their location, and just kind of remember that in your mind. If you have to go back to my other video, I guess I should have took a screenshot here and just showed it to you guys. But look at this. Okay, first off, I have to talk about this. See how deep and dark and wide open that is? Okay, if you look over here where the other parts of this hole is, you can kind of see where there's still parts of the atmosphere there. Okay, they kind of look like islands if you were talking about water, which obviously this is not water. But up here, that is completely black. Okay, there's nothing there. There's no atmosphere there at all. So I guarantee you there's some intense winds coming out of that, solar winds. Okay, and then this is what we're talking about. I've been talking about how this is going to be an ongoing event for days, and this is why. Okay, that's right behind what we got going on here. All right, so, and let me show you this real quick. I should have just brought up my graphic, but again, that's the equator. We kind of sit right here, a little bit south of the equator of the sun. So, if you look at this, just because this hole here is on the northern part of that equator line, or right on it, we still connect to it, okay, when it gets, over this direction. For us not to really connect to it, it really has to be probably about up here, and we still sometimes do. So, what I'm saying is that we're going to be affected by winds for a very long time, for at least the next week, I'm guessing, okay? Now, if you look here, you see the darker oranges, okay, kind of in there. And this is the 193. This is what they use to show coronal holes most of the time, and I explained that yesterday. But check out the 211. Okay, yeah, that's showing where that thin parts of the atmosphere are starting to open up again. Okay, and these holes are getting rather large. And something you really couldn't see on the 193 is this one. Okay, that's right in the Earth strike zone when it rotates through. And if you follow this, you can see how it's all dark all the way even up to this. So we're going to stay connected to the sun like this, and we're going to be experiencing solar winds for multiple days. Okay, they really haven't got too much out of normal. I've seen them up over 500 a little bit, but that isn't really that high. What I'm noticing, guys, is it is a low density event, and it's really strange to say that, but we're not seeing high density, and yeah, it's kind of crazy. So yeah, we need to pay attention to that. Okay, guys, this is the other magnetopause models that I show you guys. This is the solar wind speed. Okay, this is what this model is right here. And if you can tell, you see the lighter oranges everywhere? That's showing you that there isn't much solar wind, okay, when it's showing those colors. Now, you just seen us get hit right there. You see that? Okay. What I'm noticing as of late, if you look around where the Earth's at, do you see the lighter colors, how far they're stretching out? It's typically not like that, guys. Typically, it's almost even a perfect circle, kind of about like that. Okay, that's what a normal signature pretty much looks like on this tool. So you see how we got hit and we pushed back, right? So I mean, and that's nothing really too extreme right there. But what I'm looking at here, guys, I just talked to you guys about the density. The white means no density, pretty much. Look at that. This time lapse is running. Look. Okay, so that low density is here and it's staying. Now, if you remember the video I did the other day, kind of out here in the front, remember we had that really high dense patch that was inside our shield that stayed right there? Well, you can even see it right here a little bit. Okay, and it seems as if the dense material, if you look out here in the front, it's like we got a break. I know it's hard to see with these whites, but do you see that? Okay, it's like it's open in the front a little bit. Now, I'm not saying our shields are open out there. I'm just saying the material, the denser material, is kind of cracked open there a little bit. So then we go down here and look at the pressure one, and this is confirming what I was just saying. And this is something else that we don't typically see. Okay, do you see how it's basically a straight line right there? There's nothing out here, no pressure, but yet we got the pressure over here. Very strange. Okay, that's a strange anomaly right there. Even on this, on this part, it's not showing anything out here. Okay, that's, yeah. And I have to say this, guys, low pressure is almost as bad as a lot, because I've explained that before. You know, it's kind of like a tug of war. If you're pulling one side or the other, right, both of you are pulling at the same strength, and then one side lets go, what happens to the people on the other side of the line? They lunge forward, right? So that pressure is what I'm talking about there. When we get hit with something, solar winds and stuff, we push back. Okay, so we push back at a certain pressure, whatever you want to call it, but we're always pushing out a little bit because we got solar wind all the time. It's called ambient winds, okay? And it stays between about 300 to 450 or 500. That's about normal for that, okay? So when we're talking about this, you know, if we're pushing out a little bit all the time and then the pressure releases, we still keep pushing a little bit, right? So in my mind, that can kind of act like cause some of the movement and stuff that's going on here on the Earth. So, but that's just my opinion. Okay, guys, I showed you the radiation yesterday. We're going to look at it again here. I just want to give you guys kind of an update on it. I'm just going to use the toolbar and drag it. Okay, that's what happened yesterday. Okay, that's what I showed you guys yesterday. Now watch what happens after this. Okay, see how long it's sticking around? Okay, let's see here. When did it start? About 4 UTC on the 16th. Okay, and that pink is hanging around until wow, that's almost a complete day. That's 3 almost on the 17th. Now something else here too. Watch this. It says 236 to 352. That's a jump of an hour and a half. Okay, so it's missing some data. But yeah, and then you see how we continue to get the radiation, right? So let's see here. Grab the bar again. Okay, now you see how it's kind of stretching out the wrong way, kind of stretching towards the right. And I've talked about this before. That's not like our magnetopause is reversing or anything, but it does suggest that we're pushing further out in front of us. Okay, that's what that suggests to me. Okay, so whatever we're getting from the sun has gotten weaker or whatever, and that's why we're able to stretch out this way. Because this looks almost like an opposite. At first glance, I know that it's not, but at first glance, this looks like our magnetopause flipped, went the wrong direction. But I don't think that's what's going on here. But it just looks very, very strange. Okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you guys that too. But I think I will go ahead and end the video. We did get over 20,000 subs. So I'm getting my computer ready. We're going to do us a live show here. I talked to Scott. I think Scott's going to join me. that'll be within a week or two here. We got to get our schedules, coordinated and be able to get on here and give you guys a good show. But yeah, guys, I do appreciate you guys. I thank you guys for watching. I am just trying to do the best I can to help as much as I can to spread, uh, whatever knowledge I have, which, is what it is. It might not be much, but I'm trying to get it out there as best as I understand it. So, uh, but anyway, guys, God bless. Yeshua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid. Oh, yeah, there's a model update. Sorry.
Your car sideways and it wouldn't last. See, you're the kind of person believes in making out once, love them even fast. I guess I must be dumb. Should a pocket full of horses, Trojan, someone amused. But it was Saturday night. I guess that makes it alright. And you say, what have we got to lose? And honey, I say, I felt a little ill, I saw all the pictures of the jockeys that were there before me. Believe it or not, I started to worry. I wondered if I had enough class. Oh, it was Saturday night, I guess it makes it alright. And you say, baby, have I got enough gas? Oh yeah, little red Corvette, baby, much too fast. Yes, you are, little red Corvette. You need to find a love that's gonna last. Oh, body like yours and being in jail is on the verge of being unseen. So move over, baby, and give me the keys. I'm gonna try to tame your little red love machine. Little red Corvette, baby, you're much too fast. Little red Corvette, you need to find a love that's gonna last. Little red Corvette, oh, honey, you got to slow down. Little red Corvette, 'cause if we're talking to get to anywhere. Maybe we can make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. You got a fast car. I got a plan to get us out of here. I've been working at the convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far. Just across the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs. Finally see what it means to be living. See, my old man's got a problem. You live at the bottle, that's the way it is. His body's too old for working. His body's too young to love it like his. My mama went off and left him. She wanted more for life than he could give. Said somebody's gotta take care of him. So I quit school and that's what I did. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so we can fly away? We gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way. I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. We go cruising, entertain ourselves. Still ain't got a job. Gonna work in the market as a checkout girl. I know things will get better. You'll find work and I'll get promoted. We'll move out of the shelter, buy a bigger house and live in the suburbs. So I remember when we're driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. I got a job that pays all our bills. Stay out drinking late at the bar. See more of your friends than you do of your kids. I'd always hope for better. Thought maybe together you and me'd find it. I got no plans, I ain't going nowhere. Take your fast car and keep on driving. I remember when we're driving in your car. Speed so fast it felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so you can fly away? You gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way.